welcome to Real WW Talk. I am Erin.
I'm Candice.
And I'm Rikki.
Rikki, you really paused there.
I was like,
To think about I made sure that I was ready to speak. And
guys, you don't understand. Erin had to make sure that we were on time today, so that's why we're still laughing coming into this.
A little giddy.
I didn't. Okay, a little behind the scenes. To start, I started our music and the little video. If you watch us on YouTube, the little video that rolls with the countdown, right? And we were in the middle of a conversation about Lego versus Lego bricks versus Duplo. This is how random, okay? And I moved the mouse to get us ready to say, okay, this is wonderful. We need to get going. And instead, the mouse actually hit the video and just stopped it cold.
For me, it's reminiscent of the leaders telling us to get out of the meeting room and go into the parking lot.
Yes. Do you remember when they do that to us? And we'd sit there and we'd be having
we need to have our new member orientation. So we're going to ask you guys to just move this conversation out with the bees in the parking lot. Appreciate you.
And that's why I'm not a meeting leader, because obviously I would have just started the music right then and there to cut it off. Okay, let's circle the wagons. Let's bring us back to home base. So, one, everybody doing okay? Everybody's on track? Everybody living life, good life, happy life?
Good to see you guys. Everybody's looking great.
Candice is wearing her purple and she's looking confident and fabulous, resilient.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Boom. Rikki's got new lipstick on and
we love Rikki's lipstick.
I changed my glasses. I've got different glasses that I'm wearing. So life is good. Hey. So last week, one of the things that we talked about, we were just kind of sharing some different quotes and things. And Candice, you were like, I want more of this. Do you want to take it?
Erin, you made a comment that just really, we were talking about seasons and we were talking about being comfortable in your skin, and something about the conversation got to the fact that if something consistently is happening over and over again, is it really a season? Like if every summer you're lamenting your weight and how you look and it hasn't changed, would you say that that's a season, or would you say that that's just your life? And you brought up this person who made the statement that if it's after a certain period of time, I don't know what the time metric was, whether it was months or 4 months, 5 months, but a season ends.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, things that are consistently done past a time frame become
that's your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just so deep to me.
I love that. Carey Nieuwhof is his name, and it's spelled Nieuwhof. Nieuwhof. He's a business leader, thought leader, and he was saying this to a bunch of executives to help them understand really how to value your time. Actually, let me share that with you real quick. He talks about doing what you're best at when you're at your best. Okay. And I actually think that this applies to even our health selves, because in his space that he's talking to these executives, he's trying to empower them to say that you have these windows of time throughout the day. And think about, for both of you, when are you guys optimally at your best self? Like you're thinking on all cylinders, you're grooving, you're moving. What does that time frame look like for you in a day? Serious question.
Meaning like when in the day is it?
Yeah, like when in the day.
After coffee? Like
okay.
Early in the morning?
For me, like when I'm in my zone and I'm firing on all cylinders, that's usually like 8 to 1.
Okay. Yeah.
8 to 1 p.m. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so what he's saying is, for these leaders, do what you're best at when you're at your best. And as a leader, what is the thing that you can only do during that time? And so you put those things in that time, and then you say, it's like, that's your green zone. You have a yellow zone and a red zone. A red zone is, I'm fried. I really can't do anything else. But he's saying like your yellow zone is where you would go put email and you would put meetings with other people. But the thing when it's like only you can do this and no one does it better than you, put it in the green block. So thinking about us for our health selves, Like, what would be your healthy green zone versus your yellow versus your red, right? Like, I know for me, right, my red zone would be late in the evening. I can't put exercise there. That's just not going to happen because I am not at my best then. But exercise in the morning, 100%, I am best at being able to do that. Or even maybe like that mid and that yellow zone for me would be like 1 to 5, somewhere within there, that would be a good range for me. Or if I'm doing meal prep or sitting down to think about my meal list, like within that zone.
Yeah.
But there was a part of that whole conversation that I was like, mind blown.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about me in the health journey. And I'm similar to you. If I don't get the exercise done, the morning is the sweet spot for me because it sets the tone for the day. I'm not kind of bothered by kids yet and husbands, they're all asleep and I can get things done and really maximize my day. As the day goes on, good luck with me being able to really be functional because I'm having to focus on so many other things. That's just really, really a great suggestion.
Right?
Changes everything.
Right. So Carey Nieuwhof, so that was like part 1. And then part 2 is this thing where he's talking about being busy. And this part of being busy that will often say, hey, I'm just in a really busy season, or I'm just in a season right now where I can't focus on X, Y, and Z. And if we look at nature, seasons have an expiration date. Spring turns into summer, summer to fall, fall to winter, right? And it's usually 3 or 4 months. And he was saying that if you look at whatever this busy season is, or this thing that you just have to get through, and it's lasted longer than that, then that's not a season, it's your life. And so that's where some changes, you need to sit and truly assess what needs to change out of it.
See, the way I was taking that was, it was a conviction to me about excuses that we make.
Oh,
how I was taking it. Like when I say, oh, well, it's been a season, but is it really a season if you're consistently having the same outcome year after year? Is it really that that you just didn't have enough time to exercise right now, but you never have found a way to make it work? And I think that's why it's something that I wanted to sit down. And when you said it last week, I was just thinking about how can I apply that to my life when I am using that as a feedback to others about why I have not hit my goals, or when I blame it on a season that really is a choice that I'm making consistently because it's my life of excuses. And that hurts, right? Because it is easier to blame a season. Like, I'll use my cancer journey. It was very easy for me to say, oh, and people will leave you alone. Well, I'm going through cancer. But the cancer journey, thankfully, thank God, is something that I have conquered. I'm past treatment. So for me to use that as an excuse, to say, well, I'm in a cancer season. Well, are you? Is that really what's going on right now? And why you're making the choices you're making right now? Or is that something else? I think we can expand our seasons to fit our excuses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ouch. Yeah.
That is profound.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is so profound. And I think we don't want to take that perspective of saying, okay, this is my reality for a while. Like, this is what I'm going to have to get used to. Because I think if we call it a season, it's easier to feel like, okay, it'll pass. So that means I can wait to start whatever I need to start until, it's over. But, because it's not a season, then I can't wait anymore. It means I need to start now. Yeah. So I think it gives us the perspective to say, I'm going to start now because I'm accepting this as my reality.
And I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're okay with it being in your reality, then you're like, okay, but if you aren't, then something has to change.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of along the same topic. So maybe we can even just move into maybe some things that we've heard that have been really influential for us. I was listening to another person on Instagram, one of the health coaches, but it made me perk my ears up because she talked about, have you been doing a weight loss program since you were 13 and you're now 40? By the way, you've put yourself now in this permanent like calorie deficit, and you keep trying to do more things to lose weight, and it's not working. And it's because your body has sat here because you've trained it to be here. And so she went through like methods of that you need to actually increase your food. But if you increase your food, then that's going to, then you feel like you have to increase your activity. It's all of this begat. And it just, when she said that thing about, have you been on a permanent diet since you were 13? I went, oh my gosh, I'm going to be 42. And I have been, quote unquote, on a diet of some kind since I was 13. And it made me just take a step back and go back to one of the things, Candice, that you brought up in the last thing was, I don't want to be talking about food for the rest of my life. I don't want to be thinking about food for the rest of my life. I just want to live life through the lens of life and not through the lens of diet. And that was such a, that I can't tell you like the unlock I felt on the inside when I heard that.
Yeah.
Like this resolution that I'm going to not do this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a deep one, and that's one that I think I know everybody here, at least at this day, can relate to, because it's been a lifelong struggle, and so much of our worth and value has been defined by this thing called weight and like food. Identity has been wrapped up into it, and I was trying to think about something that somebody else may have said. I mean, you've heard people kind of in the body positivity kind of realm, the world, like talk about what it is to have, a life where you're free, the food freedom, where you're just not caring. I don't want to say not caring, because that implies that you're just going to go on this free for all. But
well, and it also applies that other people who eat healthy or whatever, they don't care about their food, and they're actually very intentional with what fuels their body.
Because I think that the word diet, and this is a whole nother speak, because it's actually a quote that someone said they felt vilified by the word diet, because diet really just means what you eat,
right?
And so when someone says that I am looking at my diet, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're starving themselves but that's the way that the culture is now. Like that's what we think of whenever somebody said, why is it that somebody who decides to eat a burger, and fries, is thought of one way. If you eat a salad, it's like, why are you trying to, to deprive yourself? I don't know what the quote was, and I know I'm getting off topic, but that just was something that hit me. The way that people react to you when you eat certain things,
Well, and that's taking shame on them themselves, right? I mean, we've all done that when we've been out to dinner with a friend and they order the salad, and you're like, "Well, crap! Now I can't have a burger and fries. I got to eat a salad too," because you feel judged, but nobody's judging you. It's like they just want to. I had that happen to me a year or so ago. I was in a restaurant. The only thing I could eat was a salad and salmon, because that's the only thing with my food allergies. And the person who ordered next was like, well, geez, I was going to get the burger, with fries, but maybe I'll get the salad to eat better. And I was like, don't change your order on account of me. These are literally the only 2 items on the menu I can eat. So please, I would be so happy if you got the burger and the fries, and I could watch you eat the fries, because I love fries.
That makes me think of, just thinking about things we've heard from different people that have kind of influenced us. Brene Brown said something the other day, and she was referencing more like social friendship situations. But she was saying, let's say you have a group of friends and, you're close to all of them, but you see on social media that they all went out without you, and your feelings are hurt and you're like, why wasn't I included? The most freeing thing you can do is say, let them go out without me. Let them have fun without me. Let them not include me. And it can be applied to so many things. And even situations like that, where it's like, man, I wanted to order, a burger, but, everyone's having a salad. Well, did I track my burger? Have I been excited about this burger because it's at a unique place that has really good ones and I planned for it? Well, let them have what they're going to have, and I'm going to have what I plan to have, and it works in so many situations where we can be easily influenced by what other people do, by what other people, or what we perceive other people think of us.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, if that's what they're thinking, let them think that. If that's what they're going to do, let them do that. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And it's just so freeing to not have to have that feeling of being tied to what someone else thinks or does.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm petty. I want to know if all my people gathered without me, you better be planning a surprise party. I am that level of petty. I want to know why.
I mean, it hurts, but I mean,
It's
what else can you do though? Like, what else
Why am I not there? Start there.
do you feel better? I mean, this has happened to me, or maybe not people who were really close to me, not like people as close as, you guys are to me, but like I've had a group of work friends, and this happened. It was me and a couple of other work friends weren't included in that. And they were posting pictures all night of them. And these are people we'd all gone out together and been friendly with. And it felt like they were rubbing it in our faces, but there was nothing that I got out of that situation by ruminating over it. If I had let that go sooner, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't have been sad
That's a great point. There's nothing you got out of it over ruminating over it. But I will tell you that I'm petty with you. Okay?
It hurts. I'm not gonna. It hurts.
Yeah.
But I the less attention I give to it, the more the stronger I can become in healing from it.
Yeah. And it's almost like I'd add a qualifier to that to say, let them, but also just acknowledge, like you said, feel what you feel. Kind of like a blend between Erin, like, I'm gonna get them, right? And Rikki, like, well, let them.
I feel like a balance in the middle.
Try to find the middle, which is like, this hurts. Like this
I'm like, Rikki, give me your hoops right now.
Like I'm going over there. I keep telling Erin and Rikki I have these braids. So I feel like I'm just really like hardcore now. So I'm like, listen, I will go and fight those girls for you, Rikki, because
you won't. You sat in the middle. Give me your braids. I don't even need braids. I was ready to roll. That's my Arbutus energy coming out right now.
But I think that we do need to be able to look and to be honest about how we feel. It hurts when things happen. Something that keeps coming to mind when we were talking about this was eons ago when I lost 50 pounds and I hit 50. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I hit 50 pounds. And the next week, I think I told you I went on vacation to Vegas with friends. And I wanted to keep up the momentum and what I was doing to help me lose the 50. And they wanted to whatever they wanted in Vegas. And they were very annoyed with my decisions to exercise. Something that sounds simplistic, but it was more they were not happy with the choices they were making. And they wanted me to join in. And I was making them feel bad, like you, Erin, with the salad that I wanted to eat and the salmon. And I gave into the peer pressure because I didn't want to feel like I was ruining their trip, which sounds crazy, right? But that's where I was. And I came back and I gained 9 pounds the week after. 9, like not 2, not 3, like 9, like almost 10.
Did it.
And I felt bad. But I was willing to put my feelings on the back burner so that they had the trip they wanted. When really what I should have done is said, let them be uncomfortable with me eating my salad and going to the gym, even though I've told them that I don't care what you're eating. I just need to do this for myself. I didn't have that strength. And it set me on a path where I wasn't able to recover because I was still so externally focused on others and how and what they needed me to do. And I still go back to that and I go, why did I do that? I'm left with this guilt about why I didn't advocate for myself and why I wasn't willing to sit in that.
And yet now you have that as I don't want to do that again. I have learned my lesson. I don't want to do that again. And now I have the opportunity to pour that into other people, to not put yourself out so others can put themselves forward.
Yeah.
Right. In that way, because that wasn't for the good of the group in that case. And it wasn't that you were trying to do something that wasn't the good for the group. It was and if they had recognized, I don't know, this is just kind of my feelings on this. If I know somebody who's a part of my group has been working really, really hard on a goal or something like that, I would want to accommodate them so they don't fall behind on it. Or, hey, what are the things that could be modified, that could be done to accommodate so they could do X, Y, and Z? I don't know. That feels like friendship
Yeah.
to me.
But I think you see it a lot in social, in media and movies where that isn't the reality of those. I think insecurities run rampant. Like, and when people aren't comfortable within themselves, they manifest it or they kind of put that on the people that they're around. Friends are not. I think that there's a lot of internal work that we have to do. And that's why we do look to these people who have these sayings and stuff to kind of convict ourselves.
Right.
Right. When we're not convictable by somebody else, when that's why it hits you and you're like, I need to not do that. I need to be better.
Yeah.
Let them feel what they feel.
Yeah. What's another thing that someone else has said that you've been like, wow, revelation? I will tell you one for me is when we were going through James Clear's Atomic Habits, our book boyfriend. And I probably cheapen him by saying my book boyfriend. I should really do that with more respect, but I hope he knows that
I do it with Charles Stanley, so whatever.
That's okay. Okay, good. Because I do mean it with the utmost like love and respect for him. When he talked about, Candice, we've talked about this before. We wrestle with perfection on things. And a lot of the journey feels like in the past, if we didn't do WW perfectly, then we've failed and we're starting all over again. And he talks about building habits. Building habits isn't doing it perfectly each time. And he used the example of the presidential election. The presidential election just has to have the majority vote in order to win. And so we're not expecting a candidate, or we're not expecting everyone to agree perfectly on this one particular person. And so if this person just needs a 1% margin to win over someone else, right, or more, what have you, then why are we also expecting ourselves? We aren't giving ourselves this percentage. And so I just need to be doing this right more often than I am doing it wrong. And that was a stupid, weird revelation for me that I cannot do this perfectly. It's okay that if I miss a day doing exercise, if I have a week where my eating isn't as strong as the week before, it's okay. It's not great. And it's not, it's not the end of the world. This is, I need to think bigger. I need to think more outside of the scope of like this little minute thing. That was a like game changer for my brain.
Yeah. And especially as a perfectionist, it was for me too, because I've always felt that it was an all or nothing. And that's something that is hard to let go of when you've held on to that belief for so long, because when it's challenged, you have to go back to those words and to say, okay, yes, I know how this can apply. Because you all find that you hear something really great, all the things we've talked about today, these really, really influential quotes and statements. But when it comes to the application of it, it's still tough.
Right.
You're like, I understand that I only need to do like the presidential election, but I need this to be a perfect journey for me. I know that he said, wait, what did he say again? I'm wondering, how do we get it to stick? And I'm, kind of interjecting and not giving another quote, but I just wanted to throw that in there for discussion about when we hear these very influential statements, what are we doing, or what have you all found to be effective to call it to memory when it's time to apply it?
I don't know the answer to that, but I'm thinking of another example that he gave in the book that I think is the closest thing that I can do and I'm capable of doing, is the example of the guy who went to the gym and built the habit of going to the gym. And how did he do it? He, built the habit by going every day, getting out of his car, going inside. Hey, I'm at the gym. And I think maybe he did 5 minutes, or he may not have even done anything. In the beginning, it was like, I'm here at the gym, I'm going to, walk around, and then I'm going to leave. And like, it seems like so inconsequential to say like, oh, you went to the gym and you didn't do anything, or, oh, you went to the gym and you only spent 5 minutes there. But the meaningful piece of it is the habits that's built. And I think the best thing that any of us can do is build the habits. And that is really the hardest thing. But I think going back to realistic expectations, like, is a realistic expectation for me to only do, and I shouldn't say only, to do 5 minutes of activity a day, just to like every day. You know,
I mean, if you've been doing 0, why wouldn't 5 minutes be an improvement?
But sometimes that doesn't feel good enough and we don't start because we're like,
right, I can't do 30.
Right. So I think, I don't know if that's an answer or if that's the right thing, but I think how building the habits without focusing on the intensity from the beginning, but the consistency.
I think actually what we're doing right now is in a way application. Like we're talking about it, we're sharing it. Like we've committed these things to memory. They've made such a strong impression on us, and we think about them, and they've maybe they haven't made a holistic change, but they've made a 1% change for us. Or maybe it's been a catalyst to a larger change at some point throughout. You know, me hearing this thing about it's not a season, this is your life. You know, for the past 3 years, I've talked about I'm in a really busy season at work. And we've gone from, well, within the space of 3 years, I've had 1, 2, 2.5, 3 job changes and 3 major things that have happened along the way. So I've gone from a busy season to a busy season to a busy season, right? I would actually classify this as busy seasons, but it's been 3 years of my life. And so I have to recognize that I'm going to go right now, the way that things are happening, my life is going to go from one busy season to the next to the next. That is my life right now. And so how do I want to show up for these busy seasons? And at times it might be more acute. For instance, the past month, I haven't even been in the country pretty much, right? Like that's been an acute busy season to me. And I have to recognize that something along the way has changed. But I need to find balance within this space. So that's making sure that I am going to carve time out to go walk or ride my Peloton or what have you, that I am food prepping for myself so I don't have to think about it later. It's really just going, okay, this is my life right now. And so how do I want to show up for my life in the best and most healthy way?
Yeah. And that leads to I found what I was looking for, because there was one quote that really did resonate with me that kind of ties this all together. And it's by our good old friend, Dr. Phil.
I thought you were going to say Dr. Now. So
now, you know what? I don't know why I didn't do Dr. Now. That would have been perfect.
You've already eaten all the food for the next 30 years.
If you lost 30 pounds, it's month. Anyway, awareness, but he said awareness without action is worthless. And wow. I remember when he said that to somebody on a show, and it always stuck with me. And he said, it's great for you to be so, because I feel like we're very self-aware. We're very aware. We're very deep.
Yeah.
Real but awareness without action is worthless. So what? If you have thought about it and it makes sense, what have you effectively changed as a result of all of this self-awareness and all of this knowledge? And I've been guilty of knowing, oh gosh, what it is that needs to happen. And then when it comes time to implement, I fall short. So the conviction for me always when I hear that and when I think about that is, what could somebody see in terms of my actions that show that there's been a shift in my mindset? And if that's not there, then I know that there really truly hasn't been a shift. It's just been something that I thought was a really deep point, you know, and that makes me want to move forward, because I don't like to be seen as I don't feel like I'm a liar. I don't feel like, and I don't want people to look, and we've talked about that. We've taught people how to view us, and our actions show that people shouldn't really believe us, because we talk a good game, but we don't show up when it's time to do it. So thank you, Dr. Phil.
We need less information now. We need transformation.
And maybe Dr. Now in the background to just
a little Dr. Now.
A
little now.
I have to tell you, Erin gave us a little chip bag, what is it? Clips.
The clips.
Dr. Now on them. I'll tell you, that's very effective when you want to go into a bag of chips and you see Dr. Now staring back at you. Talk about convicted to do the right thing.
And by the way, if you don't know who Dr. Now is, he's the doctor on My 600-Pound Life, and he's just brutal when he talks to people. Like, and brutal in the sense like he cuts through the BS, he cuts through the excuses. He knows what you're going to say.
You eat too much.
Right? You eat too much, and sometimes you just need somebody to tell you, cut through all of your excuses. You eat too much.
Yeah, he has a very flat affect.
Yeah.
Like it's just very. It's like he doesn't get. He's not in on the joke. He's not trying to make you feel better.
I have a slow metabolism and I'm big boned. He's like, no, you eat too much.
You eat too much food. When you eat too much food, you stay fat. Okay. Well, there's the quote of the night. You eat too much food, you stay fat.
You stay fat. Oh my gosh. What a way to wrap this up. I love it. All right. Hey, if you want to connect with us, you can find us. Speaking of, I should say, if you want to connect with us on Connect, just look in the show notes and you'll find all of our Connect handles. I'm not as active on Connect as I should be. I should post more there.
I've been getting better. Trying.
Are you good? Good. Somebody is. One of us here.
Trying.
You can find us on Facebook, inside the Real WW Talk Facebook group, Instagram, YouTube, podcast. Just search Real WW Talk and you'll find one of those things somewhere. Okay. All good. All right. Hey, we'd love to hear if there's been something like an influential quote or something that you hold on to. Would you just drop it in the comments? We'd love to read it and be inspired by it. And who knows who else it will inspire, because when we share, other people take note and listen. You never know what you may say that will impact somebody for a lifetime. Our words matter. So there you go. That's my little spiel on that. All right. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.